Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, guys? Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone's having a great week thus far. You are halfway through the week. It's hump day. Let's get it. So, jumping in real quick, let's talk about how you are not what you think you are, or say you are, or believe you are. So many of us, and I've been guilty of it myself, believe and associate our identity with our patterns. What do I mean by that? That means that we say that we're worriers, or we're doubters, or we're just an anxious person, or we're a negative person, or we're a procrastinator. I'm a perfectionist. Those are not who you are. You are not those things. Those are your patterns. And the way that this disempowers us is we think that that's just naturally who we are. My father was like this, my mother was like this. I'm just a perfectionist. I'm just a worrier. I don't get things done because I'm a procrastinator. And that's not the truth. That's not the case. What's really going on is that you've developed those patterns. Those are your patterns. Those are not your identity. Those are not who you are. And it disempowers us because we think that it's a permanent thing. It's something we cannot change. And it seems like this big, huge task, like we'd have to completely overhaul who we are. We'd have to rewrite our DNA in order to improve our life so that we no longer procrastinate, so that we're no longer held down by perfection, so that we're no longer a worrier, or we're a doubter, or we're a pessimist, or any of these negative things that we believe are ourselves. And when we associate that with that so deeply, it seems like an impossible task to change our life. But when we realize that those are simply patterns, those are patterns. You have a pattern of perfectionism. You're not a perfectionist. You have a pattern of pessimism and doubt. You're not a pessimist or negative person. These are patterns. They are not who you are. And when you realize that it's simply a pattern, and all you have to do to change your life is to change that pattern. And I love that my mentor, Mastin Kipp, talked about this. Tony Robbins talked about this. I've heard Mel Robbins talk about this. The best spiritual teachers, the best coaches, the best empowering people in the world all understand this, that you are not your patterns. And when you understand that you are separate from your patterns, and they do not define who you are, they do not identify who you are, it is not something that's imprinted in your DNA, it's just something you were conditioned with, then it's easy to change. What does it sound like to say, I'm a perfectionist versus I just have a perfection pattern? How does that feel? How does that feel to know that you only have to change a pattern to completely change your life? And it is so easy to change a pattern, it's impossible to change who you are. So if you want to change your life, understand that these are not you. These are not who you are. These are simply patterns. And you've developed these patterns as forms of protection. And when you understand that they have protected you and served you for a period of time, but you don't need them anymore because they've run their course, they're not helping you, they're not protecting you anymore, they're actually harming you and keeping you from living the best life possible, then it's easy. There's hope. You're not feeling hopeless. You have to change all these things to improve your life. And when you understand that if you change that pattern and you don't associate with that pattern anymore, it becomes less personal, and there's hope for changes, hope for improving your life. So this is what I do. I help people to understand, one, that they are not their patterns. That is not who you are. It's simply a pattern, and if we can identify where that pattern came from, where that pattern originated, why that pattern was instilled, why you were conditioned with that pattern, what purpose it served in your life, we can simply replace the pattern. And when we replace the pattern, you go from being a perfectionist to taking action. You go from being a procrastinator to an action taker. You go from being a doubter or a pessimist to a constantly positive person because you replace that pattern with a more effective, more suitable, more efficient one that really serves you. And especially when we reverse engineer and we think of the outcome that we want to create. So if I want to create a certain outcome, what is the pattern that I would have to institute in my life in order to be able to achieve that? Not just who would I have to become, but what patterns would I have to create to help me to produce that result? And that is so much easier than overhauling your DNA or who you think you are. So when you connect with this, when you understand that you just have to change your patterns and you have somebody in your life who can guide you through the process, you have somebody in your life who can help mentor you through it and to see all those things, then it changes everything. And your life can change very, very quick. So just these small, simple changes, changing a pattern can drastically change the rest of your life. So this is what it's like having a shadow, a mirror twin. Say hi.
Hi.
All right. Love you guys. Thanks so much. If you have questions about this, please hit me up with them. Comments, put them in the comment section. Share this if this resonates with you. Tag anybody who needs to know that they are not who they identify as. It's just a pattern that they need to work through and overcome. And if they change that pattern, they can completely change their life. Thanks, guys. Love you. Talk to you soon. Bye.